I either write it down, I always have a notebook beside me or on me, your notes app, voice memos, just get it out of your head.
Right.
But my advice would be, to reach out to somebody, say, hey, I need to go get a coffee. Hey, can you run to the grocery store with me? Just someone who is just like there, who can be there for you, even if it's just on a phone call. Yeah, I think it's nice to just always have that. I always have a good support system. But if you've got that one person you can lean on and talk to, definitely talk to them. Reach out. Get out of your head. That's the first step.
On today's episode of Loves Music, I got to speak with Katlyn Cook. She has a podcast called I Need a Friend, where she talks to strangers about their struggles with mental health. She's on our show today to talk about her own personal struggles, entrepreneurship, and her favorite band that she would love to see at Red Rocks. Join us for another episode of Loves Music. All right, so Kat, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I gotta be honest, I had a ball just warming up to have this conversation today. I always like, for a little bit of context, folks, I spent about 10 or 15 minutes talking to our guests before they come on Loves Music. And it was so hard to stop right at 15 minutes because there was just so many different aspects of this young lady's life that was so interesting. We have dog owner, Colorado resident, singer, podcaster, creator. What don't we know about you that we can't find out on social media?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm getting into baking. I think I'm going to start a farmstead. So many ideas. There's
farmstead
up the wazoo.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, all right. So, as you already know, this is a music podcast, and I know that's a big part of your life, but not the only part. Take me back to the beginning, right? When the earliest memory you have of interacting with music, and encountering music.
Yeah, I want to say, and maybe this is, I don't know if people will resonate with this, but like Disney was like my first introduction to music, and I just absolutely fell in love, with the Disney princesses and the stories, but the songs, that was something, we would always sing with my cousins, with my mom, with my other sisters. We're just walking around the house singing Disney tunes all the time. That was like kind of my first, I would say, like, memory, I guess, of music, like when I was first introduced to it. After that, I would say like country music. I grew up in Indiana, so I grew up in the Midwest.
Okay.
Both my parents, they never were really like into music as much as like, I guess other people were. Like, we would listen to the radio and stuff like that, but they weren't like, oh, this is my favorite artist or whatever. But country music was like my first introduction to music. So we listened to a lot of country music. But yeah, so like Disney and country, I guess those two.
Got it.
Would be my first.
So I'm either going to age or embarrass myself here, right? So were you from the era when like the Disney videos the VHS videos came in like big plastic containers?
Yes.
Or is that just my old self?
No,
okay. So everybody had like the whole shelf of like the plastic Disney?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Whole rack of it. And then you go to the grandparents' house and you're like, hey, can we watch Ariel? Can we do this? Yeah. Grandma's like, sure, for the 90th time.
So what was your go-to movie?
I would probably say The Little Mermaid. That was probably my go-to. Okay. Yeah, like as a kid. I loved Little Mermaid. I loved how she was underwater. And then, she lost her voice and then she found her voice again. And I feel like it resonated with me a lot. Just, and that even like jumps into, I guess, my adult life too is, I'm a very big people pleaser and an empath. So I want everyone to be like happy and everybody love everybody. But I feel like I lost my voice there for a while. And so I feel like now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like kind of getting my voice back and like gaining my confidence back. So I think that resonates with me too. That's
All right. I like that. All right. So we go from Disney, we go to country. Yeah. So now this is the country era. You're talking like middle school, high school. Now you're into country.
Yeah, I would say even like elementary school. That's just what we would listen to. We'd listen to like the Dixie Chicks, but now they're just like the Chicks now. Rascal Flatts. That was my first concert that I ever went to, and that was I think I was in high school. And my mom randomly one day is like, "Hey, we got some free tickets. Like, let's go to this concert tonight." So like my first introduction was just country music and just like laid back chill. And I think I would just listen to whatever people would suggest, but I'm not like I think now I have like a voice of what I like to listen to and whatever. But before then, I was just kind of like, whatever everyone else is listening to, like, I'll listen. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So what made you realize that you weren't just a passive music listener, but you loved music? Like it's like in you somehow.
I think when I started singing, like when I started
Okay.
when I started singing and I really enjoyed.
At what age? What age did you start singing? I'm sorry.
Man, I don't know. I would say maybe like 7 or 8, like when I really tried to like find my voice a little bit more. But again, that confidence, and I was scared to kind of show that. But I went to Catholic school, and so we sang a lot. Like I sang a lot in the choir, and we sang a lot at church. And they really said like, "Hey, make sure that like you're singing." So that was kind of my first. Like I was like, "Oh, I kind of really like singing." But then as I got older, I was embarrassed about singing because it wasn't cool anymore. Like, it wasn't cool to be like a singer or in choir or anything like that. So I just
was it the type of singing wasn't cool? I mean, obviously singers
are cool.
musicians are cool.
Yeah, but I think like I think for me, like when we were in school and we were singing, like I was just like nobody else is singing around me, so it's like not super cool. So none of my other friends were doing it. Like they were doing sports and this and that. So I was like, oh, I don't think like the theater and the arts is for me because everyone else is doing sports, and so I'm just gonna like do sports instead. So I never really followed that like theater artsy path. I definitely was more of the athletic type and was doing that. But now I'm really exploring and like diving into it a lot more. But I feel like not until I was older did I really start to like sing and get my voice. But yeah, only a few people really heard me sing ever. Like it was just kind of like a hush. I just sing in the car or sing in the shower or something.
So I know that you're involved in music now, and we're going to get to that. And it's not that uncommon. You hear about a lot of people. I was singing, then I got a big boy job, then I found my way back into something creative. So it's not that uncommon for people to float in and out of like their creative endeavors.
Totally.
After let's say you put singing on the shelf, so to speak. What was like the next thing of yours? Because I'm trying to connect the dots between your love for music and then how you kind of got into the mental health space, because I think that's where you are
totally
kind of hanging out now.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of my life, like in high school and growing up, I really just tried to lay low and lay under the radar and not and just like not be seen or heard. Like I was just like, yeah, like I don't want to be in theater and have people be like, oh, you sing and do this. Like none of that was cool. So I didn't do any of that. So until like, and then I got to high school and some things went down with my family, and I like just my love for all of that just I felt like just got pushed to the side for a while. And I honestly just really never thought of myself as like a theater or artsy person or a singer, like somebody who could do any of that. So I don't even know where those dots connect, to be honest. Like I don't know where. Yeah, I think just like when I hear somebody sing and it hits so beautifully, I'm like, ooh, I just love that. I love that passion that they have.
Yeah.
And so I just want to like sing it and try to emulate that. And so like I'll just start singing, and like that puts me in that like, and I just like enjoy it. But I think for myself, I just always I don't know. I'm so hard on myself. I'm like, I'm not good enough. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm not Whitney Houston. You know, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not Aretha Franklin. Like, I can't hit any of those notes. Like, I'm not a singer. I can't be a good singer. So I never really like fostered that honestly until like last year, and like being in my said band that I'm in now. But before, like honestly, I was just like getting drunk and singing karaoke.
How about that's enough? I think that's enough.
Just like enjoying that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So all right. So I discovered you actually as a result of I stumbled upon your podcast.
Yeah.
And there's a very similar energy. You're very disarming with your guests. Yeah. You're very intuitive. Yeah. You're genuinely curious. And I was like, this is something special. And I want to preface what I'm saying is I'm very leery when somebody says, all right, I'm gonna do a podcast about mental health. I come from a time when like you didn't talk about mental health unless you were a doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm always kind of leery. It's like somebody's going to come out and give advice. I think that the way you frame it as you're letting people just unload and then share their stories. You're not diagnosing anybody. Nope. You're just there to listen and make people feel less lonely. Right. And I think that's the idea. Who am I to say what the ideal space is? But I feel like that's the ideal approach. You know, and I think you do that very well.
Thank you.
Can you take me right up into your decision to start a podcast of this nature? Actually, you can actually introduce it, give the name of it, and just take me through your idea to start it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I run a podcast. It's called I Need a Friend. And I've had the podcast idea for about 5 years. And it started when I was working at a job where I drove around all day long. So that's where I kind of fell in love with podcasts, because music was great, but I'm like, man, I just kind of need somebody to like be talking, like someone to talk to, but like they're not there. I don't have time to like call everybody all day long because everybody's at work.
Okay.
So I started getting.
So what you're saying is you needed a friend.
I needed a friend. Yes, I needed a friend. And so I listened to all sorts of podcasts, like true crime podcasts and like mental health podcasts, all sorts of things, and comedy podcasts. I absolutely love comedy. It's just the best. And Conan O'Brien had just came out with his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And so he was interviewing guests that he's already interviewed before. And he's like, hey, are we friends? Like, I know I interviewed you on my couch and now we're in this podcast space. And I just thought it was a really cute concept. And I'm like, man, what if we did that? Like, because obviously I don't know any celebrities. I'm not a celebrity myself or famous. So I know that that's not attainable and that's not going to happen. So I've had the podcast name saved for about 5 years because I knew I wanted to start it, but I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. Like, I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to take it. And then last year, I went through a pretty dark time in my own mental health journey. And that's when I kind of woke up and I got the chance to get out of the situation that I was in, and took a couple months to just kind of get back to who I was. And I was like, this podcast has been on my mind, in my heart for so long. Let's try it and give it a shot. And I want it to be, again, a space for people to talk about their life and their journey and their mental health, because it can hit you at different points in your life. Like, I never thought that I was like mentally ill or had anything wrong. Like, I was just like, I overwork myself and I don't exercise and I don't do this. Like, all of these things equals me not being happy and healthy. Yeah, there's some part of that, but some other part of it is like, it could be deeper. And I know that I love talking to people, and how I get help and work through my mental health is having deep conversations with people. And the last job that I had, I was working at a brewery, and I loved working there. It was awesome. And I had some great conversations with people, but I didn't have time to really get in depth with people. And like, being in the alcohol industry, like, it's just too much. Like, it's too much physically, it's too much mentally. So I had to get out of that, but I wanted to keep that. I wanted to foster more deep, meaningful conversations and relationships. So I was like, well, how can I do that? Let's start a podcast. Like, let's start a place where people can come on and talk about their life and their mental health. And people get super deep into, some things, and other people don't, they're just like, hey, here's this, and this is how it affected me. And this was my journey. And these are the resources that I used and things that I used to help me through. And I think the diversity of all of the guests that I have on is really going to help and resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah. And I noticed that too. The last couple were like, they couldn't be more different. The young lady and the gentleman on the first two episodes. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And there's more just like randomness to come. It's pretty incredible. And again, that space, Threads and Instagram and TikTok and the intersphere, like there's a lot of yes. There's a lot of people that you can meet out there that are really awesome people and who can help you. And I just felt like Threads was a community that was safe, and there was a lot of people who did have the same goal. Versus I don't do anything on Facebook. Like, I don't really reach out to anybody there because that's just a different kind of space. But like Threads was more like, hey, here's this community. Hey, there are people that do want to talk about this. I'm like, cool. Well, I have a platform that I want to give you. So here you go. Like, let's hear your story. So
right.
Yeah.
Now, how comfortable are you talking about the dark place you were in, just for context, so somebody could see your transition from being more stagnant and more still to being in a place where you can expand and actually start your own community?
Yeah. Cause I haven't really dug into it. I haven't done like a myself podcast, I guess, like a solo one where I tell my story. Cause my story is important. Everybody's story is important, but I want to hear other people's story. And so far, listening to everybody else has kind of helped me recognize things that maybe I didn't recognize before. But yeah, the dark place, it was sad because my brain couldn't get away from like, why am I here? What's my purpose? And I didn't feel like I was getting the results that I wanted. I wasn't being fulfilling. And I'm like, does it really matter that I'm here? Like, I did get to a pretty dark place of like, I don't think I should be here anymore. And that's when I was like, something's gotta change, because like the thought didn't happen just one time. It was like constantly over and over. Like, I would come home from work exhausted And I would just go to this dark place, and I'm like, and I just couldn't get myself out of it. And I think I was trying to hide all of those feelings and emotions and suppress all of that by A, working too much, B, drinking too much, C, smoking a little bit too much, like all of the bad things just to try to numb the pain and try and not come to terms with it. Cause I'm like, like, that's not me. Like I'm a happy person, and I have a light, and I want to shed my light on everybody. And in the customer service, facing role too, you don't want people to see, you don't want to come into work and be all like crying and sad and whatever.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, they're paying you to be the face of their merchandise.
Totally. Yeah. And I was like, I'm doing my job, and I do my job really well, and I take my work ethic and my job super seriously. And it just got to a point where I just couldn't, like, I was just crying days on end, and I would stay held up in my bedroom, on all my off days, and I couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, this is it for me. I'm just going to work at a brewery the rest of my life, and I'm going to end up on the other side just being an alcoholic. Like, that's, in my mind, that's just like what I thought was going to happen. And I'm like, why am I here then? Like, what am I giving to this world? Nothing. And it was a very dark, scary place to be, and it's not fun. And it's sad too when it's like you try to reach out to people and they just don't really know or understand, or maybe brush it, under the rug or off to the side, because they're like, oh no, like maybe she just had too much to drink and is just saying this because she had too much to drink. And it's like, no, I'm just like trying to tell you that, like, I'm not okay. But like, I don't know how to just ask and say like, hey, I'm not okay, without, in like a sober environment. It was like somebody was always drinking, somebody's always doing this. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's not healthy. I'm not going to make it very much longer if I continue down this path.
Would it be accurate to say that you had to remove yourself from that community before you started the healing, or were you still within that community when you had that catalyst to kind of like shift your mindset?
It was like a little bit intermix of both. Cause I work and live with my boyfriend. We both worked at the same job. That's where we met. So our lives were so intertwined, and the community that I was a part of was awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
The community was great. My boss was amazing, did amazing things. But again, you just can't help somebody's their mental health. And when they're in a situation like that, like, there's only a certain thing you can do. So there was a point in time when my boyfriend and I were going through a lot. And everybody's just involved in your business. I mean, I was the taproom manager. So like, I really was the face of the place, and people knew me and but everybody started talking about my business, like my own personal business. And it just got too muddy. The waters got too muddy. And I was like, this is not what I want. Like, I don't want everybody to be involved in my life. And especially if I'm going through something with my boyfriend and he's going through something. So we were both just like not in a good place and in a good environment to like foster a healthy relationship. So it was at first kind of like, okay, hey, we're not going to be together anymore. So this community is all I have. But then we took a week apart, came back together, had a really deep conversation. And we were both like, hey, we're human, first off. Like, I love you. I don't want to give up on you. Like, we've been together for 2 years. It's not like we just met a month ago,
Right.
So we both were like, we have to make a change. So he left, and then I left about a month after. So once I left, and even once I put that in motion, I was like, yeah, I need to kind of cut myself off from this life. Again, not that these people are bad, has nothing to do with them, nothing to do with them. But the only way that I'm going to move on with life and grow is if I kind of shut this out, because it's just not healthy for me. And I don't want to fall back into bad patterns. Because when you're I worked there for 3.5 years. Like, it's just the comfortability, and like, this is what we do, and these are the people and these are the people you see. I had to get away from all of that to be able to get back to like who I was and to be happy again and not have those feelings and those thoughts anymore. So yeah, it was like a little bit of a mixture of both. Like, a lot of things happened kind of all at once. And yeah, it was like, I love this community, but I just can't be a part of it right now.
What would you say was the specific catalyst that made you be like, oh, I may have outgrown this community, or maybe I'm growing at a different pace, or maybe I was just meant for more? Was there a specific catalyst, or did you just wake up one day and be like, I could probably do a little bit better?
Yeah. So probably the whole last year, they are still a very successful brewery. I mean, it is balls to the wall all the time. Like, there really is not like a downtime ever. Cause we don't have a lot of places like in my town for good beer. So my boss was going to open a second location. So that was kind of like hey, here's my growth opportunity. I want to oversee both locations. I want more responsibility. I need something more. Well, that never happened. It was always kind of pushed off. And I asked him, like, what's going on with this? And he never could give kind of a clear answer. He's like, well, I'm looking at these places. It's got to be the right time, X, Y, and Z. And he's successful. He's thriving. So he doesn't really need to open a second business. But I think that was the catalyst of when that door kind of shut, when he's like, there's not really that opportunity anymore. I was like, then why am I here? Like, because I want to grow. I want to be in his position. I want to oversee. I want more. And there were times when, like I know that I'm a structured type person too, and I need goals to hit. We were just so successful. Like we were hitting all the goals. Like there wasn't really goals to hit.
Where you go?
We were already hitting them, which is great. But I'm like, okay, I feel useless. And he just wanted me to be down in the tap room, just like drinking beer, chatting with people, and that kind of thing, which is cool. But I can only do that for so long. I can't do that for 40 hours a week personally. Like I'm an introverted extrovert. So like I need my time, I need my recharge time. But yeah, again, like I want to be like working and like working hard. So it feels weird just like sitting around, like drinking a beer, chatting with people. And I know that's part of the job, but yeah, it just came to a point. I asked him too, I said, can I do, behind the scene stuff? Cause I was already doing social media and all of that kind of stuff, marketing and inventory and merchandising. And he was like, you know what? Like, I just don't want to create a role like that because then I'd have to hire somebody else. So like he restructured everything after I left, which was great. Like I think maybe he needed to. So it worked out. But that was definitely the catalyst when I saw that there wasn't really much of a future. And I was like, okay, then what's the point? Like I can't keep doing this if there's nothing that I'm like working towards.
I feel like when you relinquish that level of comfort because you need to grow and kind of like step out of the nest, so to speak, there was always like a tearing or like an adjustment period. What tangible things did you do either daily or weekly once you were out to just kind of like keep yourself level and keep yourself balanced? Because obviously you've been doing the same things every day for 3.5 years and now you're not.
Yes.
Right. It obviously took some adjustment.
Yeah. Well, I dove right into my business. So I also have a front porch decorating business called Cozy Porch Creations. So because I knew I needed to keep myself busy and I wanted to. I didn't want to take too much downtime, too much this, because I didn't want to lose like what I had. But I also wanted to, and maybe part of me wanted to prove to people too that I was like, hey, like, yes, I'm kind of giving up because I have to, like, I need to get rid of this, but like, I still want to work and do that. So I started my business and I absolutely loved it. Like it started at the right time. It was in November. Everybody wanted their front porch decorated for Christmas. And so I was busy from November to December. But then January hit. So I still continued kind of those crazy busy days. But I ended up like drinking a lot less. I started working out. I started to eat better. I started to cook at home and I fell in love with cooking and baking. Now I absolutely enjoy that. Before I just never had time, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
You always have time, but I felt like I didn't have any time. So I just never cooked. We always DoorDashed or we picked up food or whatever. We ordered it. But now, so I found a love doing that and just like hanging out with my dog more, like we just go on walks. We'll go hiking. We'll do things. I'll get out in nature and just get me out of the house too. Because I didn't want to be like stuck inside forever. So those things, just kind of diving into business. And then doing the side things that I wanted to do. So starting this podcast and posting a lot more on social media, just because, I've got stage fright and I'm afraid to talk with people and whatever. And I would have so much anxiety. So that was one thing I just wanted to get over because I'm like, I know that I can, I just have to do it. Well, you have to start, like you have to start doing it. So I started posting, making TikToks and things like that.
I was going to ask you. Yeah. I was going to ask you if you could expand on that because I feel like, especially as creatives, I mean, there's very few creatives that also have like that same like administrative acumen that are very skilled at it. Obviously you have to promote, but most creatives really don't want to. I mean, they're like shy artists and they're like, I have to post stuff. Like, how did you take me through like your that transition to having to self-promote because you have no choice. Now you're talking about your living. You have to promote the porch thing. You have to promote what kind of steps did you do to kind of get over that stage fright, as you would call it?
Honestly, just record and talk to the camera. Because, it's not live. It's not a live thing. So you can stop and you can hit delete. That's what I learned. Just get the words out. When I write down a little script, write down bullet points of what you want to say. Because like as you're talking, sometimes, your mind wanders and then you're like, crap, I went on this tangent that this doesn't matter. Or like, why am I talking about this? But my boyfriend helped me a lot too. I was like, hey, can I just have a conversation with you just to get my voice warmed up And so I'm not nervous because I always get like hot mouth and I'm like, just self-conscious about everything. I'm like, I hate my voice.
Right.
I hate the way I
Yeah.
look, like all the things.
Yeah.
But I just started doing it. So I just started doing things out of my comfort zone, recording while I'm walking my dog. Like, why is that the scariest thing? But it is, because someone's gonna be like, why is she recording herself
Yeah.
like while she's walking her dog? But that's what I did. I was like, hey,
Right.
okay, cool. Like, let me talk. Yeah. So it was, I just knew for 2025, like I have this whole wall of goals. And so I wrote on one of my goals, like, get over my stage fright. Because it was crippling. Like I just had so much anxiety about things. And I'm like, man, I do have a lot to say and I have a lot that I want to share with the world, but I can't because it's like all up here and I can't get it out there. So yeah, just really forcing myself to get uncomfy, basically. I
Right.
was like,
So,
get out of the
nothing's more uncomfortable than being the lead singer in a band.
yes.
How did
Yeah.
you go from immense stage fright to singing in a band?
Listen, so we started this band like a year and a half ago. And I was all gung ho for it. Like things in life were good. I was in a good mental, space. So I started this band. Is my brother-in-law, his friend, and me. So we have a guitarist, a drummer, and then a singer. I was, again, very shy when we first started. So, and we didn't have a good setup. So nobody could hear me sing. It was just like whatever. Like they would play, and yeah, I was drowned out the whole time. So you could not hear me.
Okay.
So then after a few months, things started getting, busy. My head was crazy. I'm like, I just don't have time for the band. And they kind of wanted more. And I was like, this isn't my priority. I don't want to do this, whatever. So I took a step back for about like a year. And I was like, nope, don't want to do it. So they found a bassist, never found a guitarist. And they kept doing their thing. And then, yeah, just a few months ago, my brother-in-law, because he kept asking me, my brother-in-law kept asking me every time they played, hey, do you want to come sing? Hey, do you want to come sing? I said, not today, but keep asking. Like, don't stop asking me because I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, but I'm just not there yet. So finally one day, yeah, he's like, hey, we're meeting up on Sunday, 2:00 if you want to come sing. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Sweet.
So I was already feeling good and confident at that point. We just started into 2025. And I told myself, I'm like, one of my goals is to get over my stage fright. Like I have to. Like, I don't know why I have this crippling stage fright. Like nothing bad ever happened to me on stage ever to like be like fearful of it. But yeah, so I showed up and they had this, their setup is nice now. They actually have a good mic and some good amps. So I just started singing with them and we've just, met for the last couple of months. We just get together and we jam and they've got like a whole set list now and I'm adding some songs that I want. So it's slowly getting there and I'm slowly building that confidence.
You doing covers and originals or?
So we're doing covers and they did just start writing a song. So they do want to do some originals. So that's when they were saying, hey, if you want to write some music. And I'm like, I've never done it before. I don't know.
Yeah,
like I do like writing, I like being creative. So I'm gonna take a whack at it.
What's your favorite cover to sing?
So the one that we have in our set list, Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar, that's our finisher. So I really like to sing that one. Their set list is kind of like, we're trying to get it to a good place, I guess now. But yeah, Pat Benatar for sure would be the one that I love to sing the most on the set list so far. Yeah, I just like good female, like powerful voice.
Yeah. So you were talking about how you said I mimic sing. And I'm like, well, everybody mimics things. Like, who do you have in your head when you're thinking about, projecting your voice? And obviously you have your own voice, but.
Right. Yeah. Like whoever's singing that song, like I'll listen to them sing and I'll try to match their tune, try to match their tone. And try to get to like the place where like they are when they sing that song. So it's really just like whatever song is playing. And again, it goes from Disney to like, I like heavy metals, like screamo music too. Like I have a whole range of things that I really truly like. And I guess for me, I don't have like a specific, I don't know. I don't think I have a specific person. It's just like whoever's singing. I'm like, I kind of want to sing like them. So I try to do it.
Okay. So when we finish this interview, right, you're going to turn off your computer. You're going to leave. You're going to get into your car. What's playing?
Right now, Renegade by Styx.
Okay. Yes. Great tune.
Love Styx. I saw somebody on a video today had that song and I was like, oh my God. So I've been listening to that just like whole mix of, so like Leonard Skinner, Simple Man, I've been listening to all of that today just because it like put me in the mood. I'm like, man, but I like really love that song. And for some reason I want to get a tattoo of like that song, like the hangman is coming down from the clouds. I don't have very long, which sounds
Okay.
so crazy. I know, but we'll see. I like all sorts of music.
Has any new music caught your attention?
I guess like I'm now getting into like the Red Clay Strays.
They're so good.
They're so good. Yeah. I think I get so caught up in music that I know already that I just stick to like what I know. And TikTok honestly has been a place where I listen to a lot of new music. And my boyfriend, he likes like EDM, like house music.
Yes.
So we listen to that like all the time, which is like something new that I don't really listen to. So I guess I would say that because we listen to it anytime we're in the car. He's a Sirius XM radio man, and so we listen to all of his EDM stuff, which is pretty cool. But there is a
Nice.
band. They're called Driveways. They're a smaller band. Yeah, they're a smaller band. They are a Halloween themed band. They're from Boston, Massachusetts. But yeah, I love that. I'm a big Halloween girly, so that's what drew me in first. And they've got some screamo, and they've got some. I just absolutely love their music, and it tells a story. Everything's all connected. Every song,
Okay.
every lyric is all connected. I'm not that big of a fan where I have like a whole board of all of it, but
Okay.
I've been to a few shows, and I just love them. They've got a great sound, and again, it's Halloween themed, so
That sounds fun. Okay. So, all right. So I have a theory.
Yeah.
That music, fashion, like anything creative, it kind of comes in cycles, right? So what was cool 10 years ago will get like a little bit of a break and it'll come back. Feels like country had a pretty significant swing in the last few. We got a Beyonce country record, a Post Malone country record. Like country was like pop for a little bit, but then I think it's on the back nine, so to speak, and there's going to be something else kind of thrust to the forefront. What genre do you think is going to be the next like big sound over the next couple of years?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Because country was so big, it did pop off and kind of come back. I don't know. I think that maybe like the No Doubt like era, like maybe that kind of like grunge. I don't know what kind of music that is, like grunge.
Yeah, there's like a 90s sound, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the 90s are coming back, like in fashion and all of that. So I feel like the music's gonna trickle in soon with that. Because I feel like Fleetwood Mac has been pretty big, like on TikTok. People play a lot of those songs. So yeah, I would say like that kind of like genre era is coming back.
Want to hear my theory? I have a theory.
Yes,
right?
please tell me.
Let me see if you can get on board with me here. I think music comes in like 25-year cycles, right? And if you go right back to like the turn of the century, now we're about 2025.
Yeah.
It was like that new metal sound that was real big. So you had like Korn, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to say, I was like, where's this Limp Bizkit content coming from? He's like touring. He's touring with this band called Eka Vandal, who's awesome. And I'm like, let me find out. We're about to get like a new metal run. I think we're going to have this like run of metal for a couple of years. And I believe it's going to be run by women. I think you're going to start seeing like a lot more black faces in metal. You're going to see a lot more women. Yeah. And we're going to have a nice run for about 3 or 4 years of like quality metal, like accessible metal, maybe not like screamo metal, but like it's going to feel like kind of like Linkin Parky, Limp Bizkit-ish elements of hip hop here and there, but like it'll be like a metal heavy sound. And I think we're going to get it for about 3 or 4 years. I want to get on tape. I want to get on tape predicting it. So if it happens, I look brilliant.
Predicted it here.
No.
Today.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I think definitely that's, my band's kind of metal-ish. That's the sound that we've got going on. And that's something that I'm trying to like learn. Like I know that I've got to coach my voice because there's just some songs that they want to do. But I'm like, I don't know how to sing this. Like Gotta Get Away by The Offspring is like one that's in there.
Love that song.
Mm-hmm. So it's a great song. I'm like, I just got to find my voice. I got to find where I fit in, in that song. So, and it's also like my bandmates are awesome. And they're like, whatever sound, like it's your sound, like make it your song, So I'm trying to do a little bit of both where I'm coaching and getting my voice to a better spot to kind of sound more of that like metal-y in that era. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
So I guess when you guys are picking songs, I mean, are you exclusively picking those more like kind of heavier songs? I mean, most cover bands are doing like the stuff you hear at like weddings and bar mitzvahs, but you guys are doing like harder. You guys, it sounds like you guys are kind of like pop adjacent. Like you're doing like your stuff, even though it's other people's songs. You guys kind of have your own thing.
We definitely have our own style. I would say the two guys, so like my brother-in-law was in a band when he was in high school, and I think his band was pretty metal. And then he went into the Navy, stopped drumming for a long time, and is just gotten back into it in the last couple years. And our guitarist is 100% like heavy metal. He's like Metallica and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I can only like my vocal range can only go so far. And I was like, I love your enthusiasm and I love that you want to do that, but I don't think because we have like Copperhead Road, but we have a metal version of Copperhead Road in our set. We're doing like Blitz Creek Bop. Like I said, Gotta Get Away by The Offspring. We're doing some like Blink 182 is in there.
It's fun.
Again, because you want some songs that people know and like. So we're doing we kind of have a mix of everything. I think we're just kind of finding our sound and our tune.
Yeah.
And they had their set list. Like after I left, they came up with a big set list, and then I kind of came in and I was like, listen, I can sing some of these, I can learn some of these, but like, can we add a few things in here? So we're adding in, we're adding in a couple. I just asked if we could add in Renegade by the Styx. So I just asked them today if we could do that.
Yeah, right.
Because I think that'd be a really fun song to sing.
No, is it too early to ask about gigs?
Yeah, because we don't have a bassist anymore. So our bassist she left. So we've got a few people that have been like coming in and like playing with us, but again, I don't think they're like in it for the long run. So if anybody's a bassist out there in that area, we're looking for bassists.
Yeah. Click the link and subscribe and send your demo. No.
But my guitarist wants to have he wants us to. He's like, hey, I see us doing this. I told him I was like, I have to get my singing good and get my stage fright out of my head.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on.
And that'll leave with experience too. I mean, you're like a handful of gigs away from like not even caring about that anymore.
I know. I'm hoping we probably will do maybe like a friend's birthday party, like something where like friends or family, just do our set, see how it goes. And then we've got a few places like in town that do live music and stuff. I mean, my old brewery live music every Saturday. So I can ask my boss, hey, can I come back and sing?
Right. I know I left and all, but
left on good terms. Everything was all good, all kosher. Yeah. But no, hopefully in the near future, we'll have some gigs.
Nice. I like it. So you have so many different ventures. Something I always like to ask people, if somebody could, there's so many ways to get a hold of you, to support you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people get like, well, she seems like a great person, but I don't really know where do I plug in at and lend my support? Yeah. If there's one way that somebody can support your movement and what you're doing, what would you tell a fan or an admirer to do?
Yes. Please go to wherever you listen to Spotify and listen to my podcast, I Need a Friend. Rate, comment, review, share it with your friends. The more that the word can get out and people know that there's a safe space that they can talk about their mental health or their journey. Like it's not only just about mental health. Mental health is a big part of it. I want to have, that be the center of the conversation. But like, if you just want to talk about some good news that you have, or maybe you have some bad news, like you can come on and be anonymous. I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know your whole life. But like, if there's something that you just like want to share and get out in the world, like that's the space to do it. And I hope that it creates a community of people. So definitely anywhere you listen to podcasts, I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I think Google, all of the ones, all the platforms. But I Need a Friend.
Nice. I Need a Friend on wherever you can, wherever you stream podcasts.
Yes.
There's something that you said yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to address it, I guess, like in the scope of the conversation. I didn't get a chance to interject, but it stuck with me. And it was just for a little bit of context. We both I've been backlogging interviews, and Kat has also been backlogging interviews as well. So what you see posted, there's probably another 6 or 7 in the queue, and you just kind of keep filling them up. So you're super busy right now. You have a bunch of stuff going on. And I was like, okay, well look, we're probably going to end up doing each other's show. So when do you want to schedule? And I'm thinking next week. We'll maybe put it off until May. And you're like, you said something and it stuck with me. You said, hey, I'm excited now. Let's just book it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something about just riding off that excitement, right? Like you were talking about, this is the same person, mind you, this is the same person who was stagnant in her position. And to just kind of get out of park and just move. And sometimes all you have is the excitement. You're trying to start a startup, a podcast, a job, talk to a girl or guy, and sometimes it's just a matter of just getting out of park. And I noticed that, and for whatever reason, I didn't bring it up, but it stuck with me after we got off the phone. What other advice like that might you give to somebody who just feels like they're in a rut, or just feels like they just can't get out of park? They don't really know what to do, but they know they have to do something, which is like such a common feeling. Like everybody
Yes.
feels like that
Oh,
at some
totally.
point.
Oh my gosh,
What?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've been drowned by that feeling, all last year. That's kind of how I felt always. Like I would just go to work. And then when I came back from work, like I was just stuck and secluded in my house. What I would say is if there is one person that you can talk to, talk it out. I live inside my head and I have a million things going on in there at all times. I either write it down, I always have a notebook beside me or on me, your notes app, voice memos, just get it out of your head.
Right.
But my advice would be, yeah, to reach out to somebody. Reach out to somebody. Say, hey, can you want to go to the movies? Hey, do you want to go on a hike? Hey, I need to go get a coffee. Hey, can you run to the grocery store with me? Like, I just don't want to go by myself. Just someone who is just like there, who can be there for you, even if it's just on a phone call, like while you're going to the grocery store. Hey, I'll put my headphones in and just talk with me. I think it's nice to just always have that. I always have a good support system. But if you've got that one person you can lean on and talk to, definitely talk to them. Reach out. Get out of your head. That's the first step. Once you can get out of your head, then again, the whole world is your oyster. So talk to somebody, make some plans, get out of but you just got to get out of bed. You got to get out of the house. Touch that sun, touch the grass, feel that sunshine on your face. Like once you can do that, like it really does. It kind of brings a second life into you. I love walking my dog. That's one of my favorite things to do. So even if it's snowy and cold and I do not want to go out in the snow and cold, I do it. I do it for him because I know he's going to feel better, but it also makes me feel better. Like my mind is again going like crazy when I'm on my walk. It just kind of calms it, and I can like categorize the things that I want to think about in my head. So So my advice is talk to a friend, get out and touch some grass.
Right. Now, with you having a lot of ventures and a lot of them being started by yourself, you have to kind of self-motivate yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing currently now daily to just keep your energy high, to stay alert, to keep your relate? Because obviously, I mean, the businesses don't go without the relationship. So it's not just doing the things. You also have to stay invested in your people and everything too. What are you doing daily to just stay on top of all of this?
Yep. So I've shifted my mindset from worrying about the future and like harping on the past, because that's where I was always stuck in the future and always stuck in the past and never in the present moment. I wake up every day and I have to say to myself, this is a brand new day. There's so much opportunity in front of you. There's a lot that you want to get done. Write it all down. So I write everything down, go on a walk with my dog. But I have to tell myself daily that like you are important and like what you're doing is important. And this is what you're meant to be doing. So keep doing it, like keep going. Like you can't just show up one day and then not show up the rest of the year. And I think that's what I was doing before. I was just like showing up like just barely. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here, I'm doing it. Well, now I'm like, okay, I'm showing up because I have to show up for myself and my businesses and my clients. But also, I want to prove to myself that I can do this. I think more than anything, it's just about me competing with past me. And getting myself out of there is, again, it's positive self-talk, affirmations, gratitudes. I mean, I live in a great house. I've got a great boyfriend. I have a great support system. I love my dog. I love my business. I love all of the ventures that I'm doing. And the people that were meant to be my life and supporting me are here, and I'm like, I just know that I'm supposed to be here in this moment right now. So I'm just trying to live in the present moment versus like thinking like way too far into the future. Having goals, obviously do that, set a plan. Some people need that structure. But for me, I bit off the whole future and I was like, well, I need to know everything now. And that was so overwhelming that I would just go into freeze mode. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything now. I'm stuck. So I've just told myself, I'm like, again, every single day, it's a brand new day. It's a fresh new start. Write a realistic to-do list and then go from there. And if you don't get everything on your list done, it's okay. There's always tomorrow. It is not a life and death situation. And I think that's what I have to remind myself too, is like, nobody's dying. Like I'm not a doctor. Like I'm not saving lives, So stop making it seem like you are, because you're not. It's going to be okay.
And I think sometimes there's a misconception when somebody makes a very large shift from say like one lifestyle or one lifestyle choice to another. you didn't have to just cut out all kinds of like, because it's easy to say, all right, well, you're in a restaurant and partying and having fun, and now you're a nun. It's no, you can still make that transition and still maintain some kind of lifestyle and fun as well, right? Like you talk about drinking beers, you still have fun. You know, you just take care of business.
Totally, totally. Yes. I did dry January, like a successful dry January for the first time in January, which was amazing. Again, I was like, okay, good. I'm not an alcoholic. I think in the back of my mind, I thought maybe I was, because I'm like, I I would just have maybe a 4-ounce beer, but it'd be every single day. I'm like, and that's not okay. I don't need to be doing stuff like that. So yeah, I think I was a little hard on myself too, just because alcoholism runs in my family. So I had this weird fear of like, oh my gosh, because I work here, like that's what I'm going to become. So just getting out of that and yeah, again, just like taking time to find my peace again, to find myself, who I am, like, what is it that I want from life? Because I don't have to listen to anybody but me. Like, what's going to make me happy? And I think before I was always looking for somebody to like tell me what to do, like, hey, this is how your life should be. Okay, you need to get married now and have kids and do this and do that and like whatever. And I'm like, no, I just don't want to do life that way. And like, I'm happy with being single. Well, not single, but having a boyfriend, not being married. Yeah, not having any kids right now. Like, that's just where my life path is. And I think now since I turned 30, it was like a hard thing to accept because all of my friends and the people that I know are married and are having kids. And you feel like a little like left out or like in a weird place in society. And people are like, oh, what is she doing? Just like bumming around, doing nothing, but I'm doing the things.
Yeah. Putting a hard schedule on that stuff is wild.
Yeah.
Like you should have kids or you should be married. I mean, you live life in seasons. And if you're not there yet, you're not there yet.
Yeah. And I always gave myself a little grace too of being like, it's okay to change. Like, it's okay to not like something and then like end up liking something. Like that's an okay thing to do too. And I had to learn to like accept that myself. Cause before I was like, I hate baking, I hate cooking. And I would tell people, I hate social media. I hate this. I hate that. Well, now my whole life is social media. I love baking. I love cooking. I love doing all of this stuff now.
No, good. Well, good for you. So if you had any ticket, right? You said that you would want to see Hozier at the Red Rocks.
Yes.
Great choice, by the way. I've seen Hozier, I want to say twice, maybe just once though. I saw him at like a festival when you see like 30 other acts. So I'm like, I think I might have saw him a second time, but it's festival, it's a blur,
Yeah. Right.
So all right. So why Hozier at the Red Rocks?
I think the acoustics at Red Rocks, they're amazing. Tyler Childers, that's who I saw at Red Rocks for the first time, my first Red Rocks show.
Yeah, some songs I really like.
Oh my gosh. And like his sound was incredible. And like, I'm sitting there crying for half of his set because it was just so beautiful. It just touched me. And I think Hozier, I don't know how to say his name. I think he would just his voice is amazing and his songs are amazing. I think it would be so cool. Such an experience to hear him play at Red Rocks.
Does music make you cry often?
Yeah. Well, I just cry all the time. Like, I'm just a sensitive person. But it's like not like as I'm sad. Like, I cry when I'm happy too. Like, I just get a lot of emotion and it all bubbles up and then it just comes out of my eyes. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's weird. I'm a weird person.
That's fine. Crying's good. It's good for you. So I certainly want to respect your time. If anybody wants to check you out, you're on all social media platforms. The main thing, though, is you want people to take a look at your podcast, I Need a Friend. Check it out on all social media platforms, certainly on Spotify. If you have a cool story of your own or just want to unload or feel like you could contribute to a platform like that, certainly reach out to Katlyn. More than happy to hear your story. Is there anything else you want the people to know?
You're an awesome friend. I'm so glad that I met you. You're an awesome, awesome friend. Or I would call you friend because we've had 2 conversations now. Just keep being kind, talk to each other, love each other, spread positivity. We all go through hard times. We just got to be there for one another. Like, we could all use a friend every now and again. So.
Well, I love it. Everybody, thanks for your time. Thanks for tuning in. Katlyn, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know you have a million things going on, so I appreciate you spending about an hour or so with us.
Thank you so much. It was such a fun time. We'll talk soon, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.